Welcome to Numismatic Vault, the channel where coins aren't just spare change, they're hidden treasures waiting to be found. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of rare and valuable state quarters. Some of these coins are worth far more than you'd ever imagine, and the best part, they could be sitting in your pocket or coin jar right now. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you might be looking at your change in a whole new way. Top 1 today. We're diving into one of the most intriguing state quarters of the 50 State Quarters program, the Ohio Quarter from 2002. Now, you might think this is just another quarter, but let me tell you, there are rare versions of this coin that have shocked collectors and sold for life-changing amounts of money. Stick around until the end of the video, because we'll reveal the unbelievable value that one of these coins reached. Let's start with a little background. The United States Mint began the 50 State Quarters program in 1999, releasing 5 new quarters each year, each representing a different state. In 2002, Ohio was honored with its very own quarter, and what makes this coin special is not just its design but also the history it represents. Ohio is often called the birthplace of aviation pioneers, and the coin beautifully reflects that title. The reverse side of the coin shows the Wright Flyer, the world's first successful powered airplane, which was designed by the Wright brothers, both born in Ohio. Right beside the plane, you can see an astronaut, symbolizing the fact that Ohio produced many of America's early space pioneers, including John Glenn and Neil Armstrong. To complete the design, the outline of the state of Ohio serves as a backdrop, tying it all together. Now let's flip the coin. On the obverse side, you'll find the classic portrait of George Washington, a design we all know well, but here's where things get interesting. While millions of these coins were minted for circulation, not all Ohio quarters are created equal. Some have unique characteristics, mistakes, or minting errors that transform an ordinary quarter into something collectors dream of owning. So, what kinds of errors make the 2002 Ohio quarter so valuable? Well, error coins occur during the minting process, and even the smallest flaw can turn into a major treasure. Some Ohio quarters have been found with double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled because of a misalignment during striking. Imagine seeing the Wright Flyer or the astronaut with a doubled outline. It instantly makes the coin rare and highly collectible. Other error varieties include off-center strikes, where the design is shifted noticeably to one side, leaving a blank crescent on the coin's edge. Then there are die cracks, which appear like raised lines running across the coin's surface, and these too can increase the value significantly. Even missing details caused by weak strikes or planchet flaws can attract collector attention. The point is, the stranger the mistake, the more a collector wants it, and the higher the price it can reach. But it's not just errors that matter. Condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. Most Ohio quarters you find today have been through years of circulation. They've been handled, scratched, and worn down by countless transactions. Those are worth face value. However, if you come across an Ohio quarter in mint state or uncirculated condition, meaning it looks as fresh as the day it left the mint, that's when serious money enters the conversation. Grading companies often certify these coins, and the highest graded specimens are the ones that sell for jaw-dropping amounts. Collectors are drawn to this coin not only for its beauty but also for what it represents. The Ohio quarter celebrates both the Wright brothers, who gave humanity the gift of flight, and astronauts who carried that dream all the way into space. It's a coin that tells a powerful American story, a story of innovation, bravery, and exploration. That combination of history, symbolism, and scarcity makes it one of the most desirable quarters in the entire 50 State Quarters program. Now here's the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. Believe it or not, one extremely rare Ohio State quarter from 2002, in pristine condition and with the right error, sold for an astonishing $83,000. Top 2. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins from the 50 State Quarters program, the Michigan quarter from 2004. At first glance, it might look like just another piece of pocket change, but certain versions of this coin have become rare, highly collectible, and shockingly valuable. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll find out just how much a single Michigan quarter can be worth. Let's start with a little background. The 50-state quarters program, launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999, quickly became one of the most successful coin programs in American history. Each coin told the story of its state, and in 2004, Michigan proudly joined the series. What makes the Michigan quarter so special is not only its design but also its historical and cultural significance. The reverse side of this coin shows an outline of the state of Michigan along with the Great Lakes, which make up the largest group of freshwater lakes on Earth. This design is more than just a map, it's a tribute to Michigan's unique geography and its nickname, the Great Lakes State. The coin's simple yet striking imagery instantly makes it recognizable and meaningful to collectors and history lovers alike. On the obverse side, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington, a classic feature of all quarters. But don't be fooled by the common design. Hidden within this particular state quarter are versions and errors that have stunned the numismatic community. So what makes the Michigan quarter rare and valuable? It comes down to two key factors: condition and errors. Most Michigan quarters were minted in large numbers and used in everyday transactions, meaning they got scratched, worn, and circulated heavily. Those are worth 25 cents. But when you find one in uncirculated or mint state condition, free from wear and preserved just as it left the mint, the value can increase dramatically. The highest graded specimens, often certified by professional grading services, are the ones that command serious attention. Now let's talk about minting errors, the real treasures that coin collectors hunt for. Errors happen when something goes wrong during the striking process, and these mistakes create coins that are one of a kind. Some Michigan quarters have been discovered with double die errors, where the lettering or parts of the design appear doubled, giving the coin an unusual and eye-catching look. Others have misstrikes, where the design is slightly off-center, leaving blank spaces or distorted images. There are also coins with die cracks, which appear as raised lines across the surface, and even planchet flaws where the coin was struck on a defective blank. Each of these errors makes the coin significantly more desirable, because no two error coins are exactly the same. Collectors love error coins for their uniqueness, and the Michigan quarter is no exception. These flawed but fascinating coins capture the imagination because they turn a simple state quarter into a rare collectible worth far more than face value. The Michigan quarter also has strong appeal because of what it represents. Michigan is not just a state, it's a symbol of American industry, natural beauty, and resilience. The Great Lakes define the landscape, and the state itself has played a huge role in the history of automobile manufacturing and innovation. Owning this coin is like owning a small piece of that story. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most Michigan quarters are common, rare versions with the right combination of condition and minting errors have shocked collectors at auctions and private sales. In fact, one extremely rare Michigan state quarter from 2004, preserved in pristine condition with a unique error, sold for an incredible $80,000. So before you spend that quarter in your change, take a closer look. You might be holding a hidden treasure in your hand. Top 3. We are going to explore the South Dakota state quarter from 2006. At first glance, it may look like just another coin from your pocket, but hidden within this quarter are rare variations, errors, and mint state examples that have made it incredibly desirable to collectors. Stick with me until the very end, because we'll reveal just how much one of these coins has sold for, and trust me, it's a number you won't want to miss. Let's begin with the history behind this coin. The South Dakota State Quarter was part of the United States Mint's legendary 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. This program captured the attention of millions of Americans, sparking one of the greatest coin-collecting booms in modern history. In 2006, South Dakota's design was released, and it perfectly reflects the state's pride and heritage. On the reverse side, you'll immediately recognize Mount Rushmore, one of the most iconic monuments in America. The faces of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln are carved into the Black Hills granite, symbolizing leadership and freedom. Surrounding the monument on the coin is a beautifully detailed ring-necked pheasant in flight, the state bird of South Dakota, soaring gracefully above the design. Adding to the imagery are stalks of wheat, representing agriculture, which has been at the heart of the state's economy for generations. This combination of symbols makes the South Dakota quarter one of the most striking designs in the entire program. The obverse, like all state quarters, carries the portrait of George Washington. While it may appear standard, this is where things get interesting, because some South Dakota quarters carry rare minting errors that completely change their value. So, what kinds of errors and varieties make this coin so valuable? Collectors have discovered double die errors, where the lettering or details of the design appear doubled. Imagine seeing parts of South Dakota, or the details of Mount Rushmore slightly duplicated, that instantly transforms the coin into a sought-after collectible. Off-center strikes are another type of error, where the design doesn't align properly with the blank, leaving part of the coin blank and giving it a unique, eye-catching appearance. Die cracks and cuts are also found, which show up as raised lines or blobs of extra metal, the result of worn or broken minting dies. Each of these errors makes the coin one of a kind, and collectors are always willing to pay a premium for such unusual finds. Condition is another critical factor. The majority of South Dakota quarters have been through years of circulation and are worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, when you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, often graded by professional services as mint state, the story changes dramatically. The highest graded examples, with flawless surfaces and sharp details, are what attract serious bids at auctions. This coin is also meaningful because of its symbolic representation. South Dakota's design celebrates history, nature, and agriculture all in one. It tells a story of resilience, leadership, and natural beauty, making it far more than just pocket change. For collectors, that connection to American heritage adds an extra layer of appeal. Now comes the part you've been waiting for. While most South Dakota quarters are common and easily found, rare examples with striking errors or preserved in the finest condition have amazed the collecting community. One such quarter shocked everyone when it sold for an astounding $78,000. So before you spend or toss aside a South Dakota quarter, take a closer look. You never know if you're holding a hidden treasure. Top 4. We're heading to the Pacific to talk about the Guam quarter from 2009, a coin that's part of America's rich coinage history and one that has surprised collectors with its rarity and value. This little quarter may not seem like much at first glance, but once you know its story, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. Stick with me until the end, because I'll reveal the staggering price one of these coins has reached. Let's start with a bit of background. In 2009, the U.S. Mint introduced the District of Columbia and U.S. Territories Quarters program. This special continuation of the 50-state quarters series honored not just the states but also Washington, D.C. and several territories, including Guam. Each coin gave Americans a chance to learn about the history, culture, and symbols of places that are part of the nation but often overlooked. Guam's quarter quickly stood out because of its unique design and the story it told about this island in the Pacific. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see a bold outline of the island of Guam itself, proudly displayed in the center. Next to it appears a flying prow, a traditional Chamorro sailing vessel, representing the deep maritime heritage of the island's people. Alongside the prow stands a latte stone, a pillar used by ancient Chamorros as a foundation for their homes, symbolizing strength, culture, and identity. The design is simple yet powerful, connecting modern America to the deep traditions of Guam's past. On the obverse side, like all quarters, the coin bears the portrait of George Washington. But don't let its familiar look fool you. This is where some versions of the coin reveal hidden treasures, what makes the Guam quarter from 2009 so rare and valuable. The answer lies in errors and condition. The mint struck millions of Guam quarters, but not all of them came out perfectly. Some carry fascinating minting errors that instantly make them rare collectibles. Examples include double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled due to a misaligned strike. Imagine seeing the island outline or the lettering appear doubled. That's a rarity collectors go crazy for. There are also off-center strikes, where the design doesn't land properly on the blank, leaving a portion of the coin incomplete. Other error varieties include die cracks, extra metal, or planchet flaws that give each coin a unique appearance. Each of these errors transforms a common coin into a rare and valuable collectible. Condition also plays a critical role. Most Guam quarters circulated heavily, passing through hands, pockets, and cash registers across the nation. Those worn examples are worth only face value. But the coins that were never released into circulation, or those carefully preserved by collectors from the very beginning, remain in pristine condition. These mint-state examples, graded by professional services, are the ones that bring in high prices at auctions. The higher the grade, the higher the value, especially when combined with a minting error. Collectors love the Guam quarter for more than its rarity. It tells the story of a unique culture and a vital part of America's history that many people don't know much about. It celebrates exploration, survival, and heritage, making it a favorite among those who collect coins for their cultural and historical depth as well as their monetary value. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. While most Guam quarters are common, one exceptional example, kept in flawless condition and showing a rare minting error, shocked collectors when it sold for an incredible $76,000. So next time you come across a Guam quarter in your pocket change or coin jar, don't spend it too quickly. Take a close look, because you could be holding one of the most valuable quarters ever made. Top 5. We're taking a closer look at one of the most intriguing quarters from the State Quarters program, the Minnesota quarter released in 2005. At first glance, this coin might appear to be just another quarter you'd find in your change, but the truth is that certain versions of this coin have become extremely rare and incredibly valuable. Stick with me until the very end because you'll be shocked at how much one of these coins has sold for. Let's begin with a bit of background. The U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which began in 1999, was one of the most popular coin programs in history. Each design told a story about the state it represented, and in 2005, it was Minnesota's turn to shine. Known as the Land of 10,000 Lakes, Minnesota's design captures the natural beauty and spirit of the state perfectly. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a tranquil lake scene featuring a fisherman in a boat, surrounded by evergreen trees. Alongside the water, you'll also see a detailed outline of the state of Minnesota with its famous nickname proudly displayed. And to emphasize the state's rich environment, two majestic loons are shown flying across the sky, loons being the state bird. This design is not only artistic but also symbolic of Minnesota's deep connection to nature and outdoor life. On the obverse side, like all state quarters, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington. While that part of the coin may seem ordinary, this is where some of the most fascinating minting errors have occurred, making the Minnesota quarter one of the most collectible and talked about coins in the entire series. Now, what makes the Minnesota quarter from 2005 so special? It all comes down to its errors and varieties. Collectors discovered multiple double die errors on this coin, making it one of the most famous state quarters for error hunters. In fact, there are dozens of recognized double die varieties on the reverse of the Minnesota quarter. These errors appear around the trees on the right side of the design, where extra tree outlines seem to emerge. To the untrained eye, it might look like just a forest of trees, but to collectors, these extra double details are the key to identifying an incredibly valuable coin. Double die errors occur when the design on the die shifts slightly between strikes, creating a duplicate or shadow-like image. In the case of the Minnesota quarter, this has led to varieties with additional tree lines, sometimes subtle, sometimes very dramatic. The more obvious the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. These double die varieties are what make the Minnesota quarter a true treasure in the world of modern coin collecting, but that's not all. Like other state quarters, the Minnesota quarter can also be found with additional minting errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or weak strikes. Off-center strikes create a misaligned image on the coin, leaving part of the design missing. Die cracks appear as raised lines caused by a worn die. Each of these errors makes the coin unique and adds to its desirability. Condition is another crucial factor. The majority of Minnesota quarters were widely circulated, and most of them are still worth only face value. But coins that were preserved in mint state condition, those with no scratches, wear, or marks, can fetch significantly higher prices. Professional coin grading services often assign a grade to these coins, and the higher the grade, the higher the potential value, especially when combined with an error. The Minnesota quarter has become legendary among collectors because it combines an attractive design, meaningful symbolism, and some of the most dramatic error varieties in the entire state quarters program. It's the kind of coin that excites both beginner collectors and seasoned experts. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. While ordinary Minnesota quarters are common, rare examples with dramatic double die errors in mint state condition have stunned the coin collecting community. One such coin shocked everyone when it sold for an astounding $73,000. So the next time you're going through your change, keep an eye out for the Minnesota quarter. Look closely at the trees. You never know if you might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable quarters of them all. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next treasure hunt. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.